and we are going to stand for freedom for a generation in Jesus' name. That's what we're going to do together, Passion. That's what we're going to do together, and we're going to do it now. You know, when I started to get involved, you start with all the buts, but God, I can't do this. And there's a whole lot of you, tens of thousands that God has gathered. I don't know of another gathering like this in the world, this unique. In here, so many of you studying, and I pray that your life is interrupted today. I pray some of you that thought you were going to go into corporate law are going to be stirred so much that you're going to get into human rights. Psychologists, social workers, lawyers, doctors. That you'll begin to say, God, what are you calling me to do? And how can I use the gifts and the talents that you've given me to make a difference in my world? Not to run away from the world, but to go to the world that Jesus sent me to bring life and hope and liberty. He set us free so that we can set others free. He has rescued us so that we can arise and reach back and rescue others. Not just so that we can have a little Christian bless me club, but so that we can make a difference in a dark world. I was sitting at one of our shelters with 14 rescued victims. See, 1 million is a statistic until you meet one. Then they're not a statistic anymore, they're a person, just like you, just like me. And she was telling me how she'd been shipped over to Greece in a shipping container. A shipping container. I couldn't even believe that. 60 girls put in a shipping container and taken to Istanbul. The oxygen tank had broken on that in that container. And so when they opened the container in Istanbul, 30 of the 60 girls had died. And this girl was telling me how her friend Anna had died. And she goes, we didn't even know. We landed there. They had no passports, no paperwork because the traffickers had taken that. They locked them in an apartment, which is not unusual, and then they raped them several times a day, often dressed in law enforcement uniforms so that the girls won't trust police. Raped them repeatedly, didn't give them food, very little water. And they feed on terror, they feed on fear. They then put the girls in a little rubber dinghy to take them across from Istanbul to Athens through the Greek islands. The Coast Guard was going through the water, and so the traffickers with these 30 girls, so that they would not get caught, threw the girls overboard. These girls were from villages, had barely seen running water, let alone ever been in an ocean or in any kind of capacity where there was a lot of water, so they didn't know how to swim. And only 5 of those girls survived. And the police did a raid in a brothel in Athens, and this girl, Sonia, ended up in our shelter. And as she's telling me this story, I'm sitting there thinking, if I wasn't hearing this with my own ears, I don't think I would believe it. But it was so amazing. I didn't even know how you could make something like that up. And then there was a Russian girl sitting right next to her. Now, she'd only been rescued a day before, and when they're first rescued, they don't even know whether we're traffickers or not yet. They don't know whether we're going to help them or we're about to pass them on to another brothel. And so she yells at me in very broken Greek. She said to me, "Why did you come?" And so I began to tell her about this God in heaven that loves her. I told her that Jesus healed me, Jesus freed me, Jesus restored me, and he could do it for her. I told her that God had a plan and a purpose and a destiny for her life, and that it doesn't matter what she had gone through, that Jesus could redeem that and give her a future beyond her past. And as I'm telling her this good news, I will never ever forget what she said to me. She yelled at me across that shelter, and she said to me, "If what you are telling me about your God is true, if this is true about your God, then why didn't you come sooner?" And those words, "then why didn't you come sooner," fuel me every day of my life. What is it so important in our temporal world that would take us away from the eternal purpose that God has us here on earth for? What is more important than people? It's for freedom that Christ set us free.